City of Charlotte, North Carolina, you are watching ASUN Women's Basketball live on ESPN Plus as the Queen's University of Charlotte Royals go out of the D1 ranks for the third time this season as they welcome NAIA squad, the Columbia College Koalas, here on ESPN Plus. And with that, we welcome you into Curry Arena alongside head coach of Providence Day High School, Josh Springer, 10-time state champion. My name is John Gross. Happy to have you with us today. And Josh, a good chance for Queens to have a bounce-back performance after a tough loss last time out.
Absolutely. The other night, first half dominating performance against Presbyterian, built a 20-point lead, and then unfortunately gave it away in the second half. I know they're eager to get back on the court and take it out on Columbia.
Well, we'll see how this Queens team does respond. And chances are, if they respond well, a lot of it will come on the shoulders of Nicole Gwynn.
Yeah, Nikki Gwynn has been unbelievable beyond the arc. She starts off the season with 20-plus against LSU. They're going to need that sizzling shooting again today.
Win double figures in 8 of 9 games this season. The leading scorer with 17-plus points per game for the Royals. She leads the way for this team as we get a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Atrium Health. This is the starting 5 first for the Royals.
Well, we've talked a lot about Gwynn all season long, John. The one player that jumps out for me here early here is Allie Johnson. She's been really consistent for them. Last year did an outstanding job at the point, and this year even better decision-making, an elite defender, and every great team starts with a savvy, level-headed point guard who genuinely wants to get everybody else involved. Allie Johnson does that.
Meanwhile, this is a look at the starting 5 for the visiting Koalas, brought to you by Atrium Health.
Well, there's a tall task today for Columbia. What a great opportunity to play a Division I opponent. But as far as the X's and O's, if they want any chance today at all, it's going to be on the back of C.C. Wells, 1,000-point scorer.
This is a team out of the NAIA level at 8-5 of the season, winners of 3 straight games. And they're led by a second-year head coach in J.J. Green, who has already made his imprint felt on this program.
Absolutely. When we talked to Coach Green before the game today, he said, look, in 2 years, last year we won 10 games. This year we've already got 8 wins. We're raising the bar every day. He's brought in 17 new players in 2 years to change the culture.
Meanwhile, Jen Brown leads the way for Queens, her 4th season, and again a chance for her team to have a get-right game today.
Yeah, and in talking to Coach Brown, she said this year's all about elevate. How are we elevating all facets of our program? Congratulations, Jen Brown, and that new 4-year contract.
That is for sure. Jen Brown leads the way for the Royals. Campion Carney has more on the Queens Royals.
The Royals are looking to bounce back after their first home loss of the season against Presbyterian College. The Royals led by as many as 22 points. And with that loss, Coach Jen Brown emphasized the importance of playing a full 40 minutes of basketball, focused and united. And that's exactly what they hope to execute today.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat. As we get set for the 4-5 Royals and the 8-5 Koalas of Columbia College. Thrilled to have you with us on this Sunday afternoon. As you put it before we got on air, it's perfect basketball weather. It's raining outside, but it's lovely in here. The opening tip is controlled by the Koalas' C.C. Wells. You mentioned her in the pregame, a 1,000-point score for the visitors today. Straight on 3, Leah Page off the iron, and Hawa Balde collects the rebound for Queens. Royals coming off of a 68-60 loss against Presbyterian. Queens led by as many as 22 in that second quarter as Brown is fouled, and she will shoot 2.
Beautiful screen right there by Hawa Balde in the high post. Brown's kicking herself because that should have been an easy and one right there. There was marginal contact. The Royals got the benefit of the call, but honestly, it didn't affect the layup at all.
Emily Brown, a senior from Texas, 8 of 8, make that 9 of 9 from the free throw line. And Josh, she's coming off of the best game of her career, 16 and 9. You'd imagine the confidence is through the roof right now.
Her confidence is sky high, and Coach Brown has to be thrilled. The Royals were 10 for 10 from the charity stripe on Wednesday. Now 2 for 2 today, still 100%.
If you go back the last 2 games, in fact, 22 of 23 from the free throw line. That's a coach's dream, right?
As a coach, I will take that every single night of the week.
Wareborn turned away by Nikki Gwynn.
Early on here, I'm really impressed with Columbia's ball movement. Their ball reversal has been outstanding. They're getting ball and player movement. Good attack on the weak side.
It's a Columbia College team coming from the NAIA level out of the Appalachian Athletic Conference. They're 8-5 for the season. This is actually an exhibition game for the Koalas, so it will not count for the record and a shot clock violation.
Right there, Columbia didn't realize out of the set piece, out of the out-of-bounds play that they had limited time on the clock. Ultimately, that's the point guard's responsibility, always.
This is the third non-D1 opponent that Queens has faced this year. They won the first two by an average of 55 points per game. As Brisker comes up short of the floater, and Page collects the rebound. Cece Wells. Off the window too much, and Balde collects her second rebound. Gwynn, deep three. An air ball, that's going to head down to the Koalas.
John, it was too tempting. Allie Johnson set the table. Beautiful pass in the corner to Brown. Brown comes up to Gwynn. She should have shot it in rhythm. We tell players all the time, if you don't shoot it in rhythm, let it go. She double clutched, and you knew the second one didn't have a chance.
You figure she's one of those green light type of players, right?
Always. When you're leading the A-Sun in three-point shooting, you have the green light every day.
Well, you want to talk three-point shooting, and Naya Muhammad cans the triple. She's the leading scorer for this Koalas team as a freshman.
Season high 27 points already, 37% from the arc. Columbia hanging in early. Coach talked about, can we weather the early storm?
Balde double teamed on the inside, and Balde is fouled. That's going to be on the floor. You'd imagine that Columbia might have some issue with the sides on the inside for Queens.
Well, you know what? They can tape their two forwards together, and I'm not sure they're as tall as Hawa Balde is right there with the size that she has. And so if she keeps the ball high, she should have a dominant performance on the glass and finishing in the paint.
We're actually going to say that's in the active shooting. So 2 free throws for Hawa Balde. This is going to be her first free throw attempt of the season.
John, that might be the most shocking stat I hear all day. How can a player be 6'4", get as many minutes as she does, and this is her first free throw of the season? And I'll tell you why. They don't run a lot for her on the offense end. She's top 5 in the conference in blocking shots, and so almost everything she gets is on offensive rebounds.
Well, on cue, an offensive rebound as she finds Johnson off of the jumper, and a loose ball is picked up by Peyton Brookhaver. Here is Cece Wells, the senior, one of only a handful of players who has been with this program since before J.J. Green got here, as Balde has another rebound. Gwynn, separation, off the window and in.
Great body control by Gwynn, obviously known as a three-point shooter. They run her off the arc, and she knocks it down in the mid-range.
Gwynn, the leading scorer for this team, as Page is off of the triple. Here is Gwynn, down the lane, bounces in.
Can you be a 3-level scorer as a perimeter player? We already know she's a marksman from the arc. Last time down was in the paint, and this time she goes all the way to the rim. That means you're really hard to guard.
What a tremendous addition she has been for Jen Brown. A transfer portal again, transfer from South Carolina State. Wells, place the 3, banks open.
Even on Sunday in Charlotte.
That ties it up. So a couple of triples for Columbia, keeping the Koalas in this one. Straight on 3 from Brown. Missed everything. And mass substitutions for Queens. 5 in, 5 out for the Royals. Jordan Weaver comes on, Amari Davis Caitlin Adams, who did not play last game, enters. Kennedy Fuller, who only played 2 minutes against Presbyterian. And Tamia Shaw, all on for the Royals.
Coach Brown talked to me recently about, she said, Josh, this is the first year where I really feel 1 to 15 we have competitive practices. What does that mean? That means you can expect to see 12, 14 players play on game day. She's 10 deep, 4 minutes in.
This only the second season of the D1 ranks, so Jen Brown trying to build out that roster, made some additions in the offseason. 7 newcomers, 5 transfers. As Wells puts up the corner 3, too much on it, but it's off the hands of Caitlin Adams. It's going to stay right here.
John, I want to talk about Columbia's offense here. They're running what's called a pistol offense. Mark Few, men's coach at Gonzaga. Dribble weave to the wing, they hand off, set an immediate ball screen. They're doing a nice job of flipping sides of the floor to get open looks.
Wells, her feet intercepted. Here is Weaver. Shaw down the lane. Lost it, able to scoop it back up. Back in from Weaver, and she flips it over the iron.
Beautiful job of Weaver getting deep post position. She scored before she caught it, meaning she sealed 6 inches from the rim, and the shot was the easy part.
Shaw on the takeaway. In transition, all the way to the basket.
We've got delay of game warning right there on Queens. I know you're excited when you get a steal in a bucket. You can't touch the ball when it goes through the net because you're preventing the other team from starting their own transition offense. First one's a warning, second one's a technical foul.
You see Tamia Shaw, she was the one who knocked it away, so the bucket still goes. And Tysonia Lowe now on the floor for the Koalas' second leading scorer as Muhammad is off for the 3. And a long rebound brought in by Davis. Davis sidesteps, whistles, and an offensive. Queens leads it by 4. Columbia College hanging in there early in the Queen City.
Before a city turns to you for answers, before the stories that need telling are told, and our nation's biggest companies look to you to make their next big move. Whenever, however, you're called upon to step up, Queens will prepare you to do just that. Because here, Warriors rise.
Back here in the Queen City, and let's dive into our keys to the game, brought to you by Kramer Group Realty.
Well, the first one's 4 quarters of consistency. The other night, 2 great quarters against Presbyterian, 2 awful quarters, went home with a loss. And then the second one, Coach Brown's program's always been built on run. Better athletes, deeper team, leads to transition baskets.
Well, so far it's been Queens in the driver's seat, but the Koalas hanging in there for Columbia College. Entry feed, and a blocking foul call as Tamira Davis will head to the free throw line. And we were talking during the break, you run this offense at Providence Day.
Yeah, we started looking at it this summer, and you'll see right here, a beautiful ball screen on the weak side. The post player dives to the basket, late rotation by Queens. And so what they're doing is getting a pick and roll on one side of the floor. The opposite post player steps out. They get a ball reversal, and again, it's a ball screen continuity. Again, you're constantly moving the help defense. If you can do that as a good offense, you get late rotations, leads to fouls, leads to Columbia getting to the line.
So Tamira Davis go to the first, as she just rims off on the second. Shaw, runner, that goes. Mia Shaw, scoreless in 5 minutes against Presbyterian, on the board early against Columbia. Davis, read well by Weaver. Weaver floats it ahead. Underneath, it's Adams and the whistle.
Just beautiful vision by Weaver. You expect a pass like that from a point guard, but when your power forward steals the ball, watch this on the break. Her timing is perfect. She throws the lead pass ahead right over the defender. Great head fake and a beautiful finish inside there by Adams.
So freshman Adams to the free throw line. She is 1 for 2 from the line this season. He didn't play last game against Presbyterian. And unable to convert a three-point play.
Guess they won't be 100% today from the free throw line.
No, a couple of misses from the stripe so far for the Royals as Davis is left wide open and clanks the three ball. Shaw down the lane, flip shot comes up a little too strong, and Weaver lost it. Here's Lowe into the contact, and it's an offensive.
This is a coach's dream right here. Defensive player, has the physicality, she's straight up. Most importantly, she's got the toughness to take it. Absolutely the right call. The defender was set in a vertical plane. Big momentum play for Queens.
So it's an offensive foul against Tysonia Lowe. It was drawn by Kennedy Fuller. As the basketball, the junior from Virginia. Adams down the lane, using the window.
Beautiful Euro step by Adams. Columbia switched to a zone defense there, which is a really smart move with Gwynn out of the game. But Adams had beautiful body control on the short runner.
And Queens has opened up its largest lead of the game, a 6-0 run, as the Royals now lead it by 9. Three ball from Warebon off the iron, offensive board. There's Lowe in the stick back.
Shaw's done a great job of pushing tempo for Queens, but right there she failed to block out, which gave the visitors an easy deuce.
And Sonia Lowe, J.J. Green talked about her toughness, that she's such a hard worker. It's the offensive rebound and the finish. Here's an open look for Fuller. An air ball and an offensive rebound. Adams. Kick out, Shaw. Open look. Too much. Here is Lowe in the rebound. Numbers for the Koalas. Lowe turned away, but a whistle. And Tysonia Lowe will head to the free throw line.
John, what's interesting, before the game, we talked to Coach Green and we said, what do you want your program to be about? He said, we want to run. Well, every coach in America says that. Not every, only 94%. But then he paused and he said, that might look a little different today against Queens with their athletes. But kudos to their players right there. They had a 3-on-1 break and they said, no, this is who we are. We're going to do it against a Division I team or an NAIA team. Nice job getting to the rim, getting to the free throw line.
Guessing Tony Bennett is like the one coach who, he's part of that 6%, right?
So I grew up in Wisconsin, Dick Bennett basketball camps, Tony Bennett basketball camps. Fast break basketball was not high on the priority list there, but doggone it, we learned how to play defense and pack line defense. And by the way, Jen Brown loves Dick Bennett and the pack line man-to-man defense.
Well, that free throw falls for Tysonia Lowe. And we've seen at times this season, Queens has been a really good team defensively. The first half against Presbyterian was one of the best defensive halves we've seen from them all season.
Absolutely. In the game I did a couple weeks ago where they played Wesley, and they limited Wesley into 7 points the entire half.
That's pretty good, right?
We'll take that. Looks like a football score.
Starters back in for Queens. Here's Gwynn from the corner. Wants it short. Another rebound for Lowe. And there's already the third board for Tysonia Lowe, whose nickname is Sunshine, which is a fantastic nickname.
Love it.
And an errant feed. Heads to the bench. Going to be Queens basketball.
So Columbia's gone zone the last few possessions here, trying to disrupt the rhythm of the Royals. Mistake was made last time when nobody was out by Nikki Gwynn. I don't care if you're playing man or zone. There needs to be a defender next to number 3 in white at all times on the arc.
How do you want to see Queens attack this 3-2?
Well, I want to get a ball reversal and I want to attack middle. And they did a nice job there with a guard-to-guard pass across the timeline. Gwynn does a nice job. She's doing it all today. She's gotten to the rim. She's had a mid-range game, now an offensive putback.
6 points, 2 rebounds for Nikki Gwynn, the standout guard for Queens. Dribble drive from Deasia Feaster, and one.
So the scouting report says, how Ubalde's one of the top 5 shot blockers. No problem. We're going to shot fake, go right by, use that aggressiveness against her, and then get an and one. Beautiful job there by Columbia. Again, show and go. Beautiful finish right there for the visitors again.
The sophomore Feaster to the line where she has struggled. Just 40% to the season, but she knocks down that free throw, and after trailing by as many as 9, just Deficit now down to 5 for the Koalas. As we enter the final minute of this first quarter. Open look for Weaver. Silky.
I think that's a tough shot. If I'm Columbia, I'm willing to give that up a long two along the baseline, and credit Weaver for making it look smooth.
4 points for Weaver. And a true stat stuffer. And an errant feed from Tamira Davis gives it back to the Royals.
Fan appreciation night. That's 2 passes in the last 3 minutes to the cheerleaders, John.
Turnover for the Koalas, who are, by the way, the only team with the nickname Koalas in the United States.
Say, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the definition of unique. Brown gets into that soft spot, can't hit the jumper. And Johnson, the interception. Brisker. Back to Johnson. Open 3. Clanks off. Lowe has the rebound. And we will head to the second quarter. A 20-13 lead for Queens on this Sunday afternoon in Charlotte. Back after this on ESPN+.
Muhammad, one of the leaders on the Koalas team, made the focus of emphasis of saying, hey, we have to make sure that we do our very best because this is the opportunity at hand to play at Division I level, and we're looking to see how we can compare to the highest level in college basketball. John?
Thanks, Kat. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. The conversation that we had pregame is there's an offensive foul against Kinley Brown, but we got to speak with CeCe Wells and Anaya Muhammad, and both players, understandably so, very excited for this opportunity today.
This is a rare opportunity, John. When you're an NAI school, you might get 1, 2 Division I schools on your schedule all year. And like Kat said, this is the big time. Every kid dreams of playing on TV. This is the chance for those Koalas.
They're going to get one more D1 opponent against Presbyterian on New Year's Eve. And Josh, there's turnover number 9. That's been a big disparity early on.
Yeah, the body language of Coach Green is not great the last several minutes because he talked to us before the game. He said, for us to stay in the game, we have to take care of the ball. That's their 9th turnover. And I thought the first 5 minutes they handled the rock great. But the last 3-4 minutes, Queen's depth and pressure has started to take over with some errant passes.
Here's Gwynn. Open look from the corner.
I know this, I would give up a 3 to anyone in a white jersey except for number 3 from Queens. And so as a coach, as a visiting coach, that would drive me crazy. And she's already had the hot hand tonight from a number of different levels. She's got to be close to double figures. I think that puts her at 9.
9 points for Gwynn. 4 of 6 from the fields. As Gwynn tracks down the long rebound, give her 3 boards as well.
John, this is the maddening thing in coaching. Sometimes you spend all this time watching film, doing scouting reports, and you get to game day, and your players still let the other team's best players do what they do best.
Well, and that's why the best players are the best players, right? They break the scouting reports.
Amen.
Here's Muhammad, fouled from the corner, and that's another thing that's going to make any coach a little frustrated, right?
Absolutely. The coach and me can't ever let it go. And again, kudos to Columbia. They say, we run, we run. So they ran out in transition, and then just really a silly foul. Basketball 101, defensive fundamentals, don't ever foul the jump shooter. Now Columbia goes to the line, Muhammad getting 3 shots.
And a trio of changes for Columbia as well, as Warebon, Brookhaver, and Page enter, as Mari Davis comes on for Queens. So here's Anaya Muhammad, the leading scorer for this team, 79% free throw shooter on the season. That's a tremendous story. She began playing varsity basketball as a 7th grader at Southside High School in Greenville. Was a captain for her team and All-State as an 8th grader. And here she is, freshman year, just a standout player for J.J. Green.
To say the least, sounds like she's going to be an outstanding leader in our community.
That is for sure. She said that she credits her leadership skills at a young age to some of her coaches and mentors that she had growing up. She goes 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Again, Gwynn left wide open. Gwynn makes him pay.
You knew there would be a substitution coming for whoever had the defensive mistake there back-to-back plays.
And that was a quick point to the bench from J.J. Green.
I may or may not have done that a number of times this year at Providence Day.
Whereupon, shot redirected. It's going to stay right here with the Koalas as Tamira Davis heads on for Leah Page.
And truly, from an X and O point of view, if you're going to play zone, your zone needs to be wider and give up something in the interior. But I'm not going to let Nikki Gwynn shoot target practice jump shots all day.
Oh, Muhammad, the fadeaway triple.
Her degree of difficulty was a bit higher. They both count for 3.
That is true. 3 points is 3 points. And J.J. Green able to dance out of the way of that ball. But Anaya Muhammad, 8 points, leading the way for Columbia.
Line shift for the hockey team.
Shaw, Fuller, Balde, and Adams on for Queens. And now Balde being sent back to the bench. Did she not get to the scorers table in time?
I often beg for forgiveness to the referees, saying my fault on getting them late to the table, because it usually is my fault.
So Weaver's going to have to stay on the floor for the moment. And she kicks out Johnson. Off the mark from the corner. Here is CeCe Wells, 1,000 points scored because she can hit buckets like that.
Well, on the way to her next 1,000, and the Koalas have cut it to just a 6-point deficit here, John.
This is a quality NAIA team, 8-5 in the season. Last year won 10 games for the first time in school history. As the 3-ball rims off, Weaver on the offensive rebound. Hey, maybe a good thing that substitution wasn't granted if she's making her impact.
Like we said earlier in the contest, every shot taken by either team, Weaver treats as a pass to herself.
Ready has 1 double-double this season at 5 last year. A tremendous rebounder, reigning ace on all freshman team selection. As Muhammad comes up short of the floater. Johnson all the way, contact, and she drops it through.
We talked at the start, John, about how your point guard has to set the table. Allie Johnson goes coast to coast. Beautiful job keeping her eyes on the rim, even though she knew she was going to get hit. We always say you make layups with your eyes. And at every level of women's basketball, we see layups get missed all the time. Beautiful job of concentration by Johnson.
The starting point guard, that's one of the areas that Jem Brown told me right before the season started that she really tried to address this offseason, figure out that point guard spot, and Johnson has really ran with this opportunity, leading the way. Bond drive and dish. Here's Wells. Deep 3 from Wells. Off the mark. Largest lead of the game for the Royals. And the entry feed to Weaver was intercepted.
Columbia playing a 3-2 zone there, and really an unnecessary post beat. There wasn't much open there. Queens needs to attack those deep corners again, where Gwynn got her open looks.
Back in, off the mark from Page, an offensive rebound for the 5'5" CeCe Wells. Muhammad, floater, clanks it, and here comes Shaw pushing the tempo. Shaw, the sidestep, and it nearly trickled in as she will shoot 2.
Shaw plays the game with great pace. She comes off the bench, and she's electrifying. I think she pushes the ball faster than anybody that I've seen thus far today for the Royals. When your point guard plays that fast, that forces everybody else to run that fast because they want to get a touch of the rock, and here comes another line change.
4 on, 4 out for Queens, and we will see a 5th come out once if Shaw hits the second free throw as well. And looking at these line changes, I'm sure if you're Queens, that's one of the benefits of playing a game like this. You want to get as many players in as you possibly can.
Well, obviously, ultimately, you want to win the game, and Coach Brown thinks that it's one thing. If we look at both benches, John, I see 15, 20 players by the visitors, and I see 15 players for Queens, but how many does that head coach on each sideline feel comfortable playing? And it's obvious, obviously, Queens is more talented, deeper. They feel very comfortable playing 10, 12 players, and a beautiful pick and roll right there for the visitors.
First bucket for Peyton Brookhaver, making her 6th consecutive start after coming off the bench earlier this season. Balde, cross court, here's Gwynn, open again. Nearly banked it to the corner. He's going to head down to the Koalas.
I have a saying often, just because the shot went in doesn't mean it was good offense. Just because you missed doesn't mean it was bad offense. That was beautiful offense by Queens. They attacked the left side. Howell Balde got a paint touch, skipped it over to Gwynn, your best three-point shooter for a wide-open look. Again, I don't know how that happens. So if she swooshed it, we would have said beautiful offense. I say beautiful offense anyways because they did what they were supposed to.
And Balde found the open shooter. Rare open miss for Gwynn, who sitting on 12 points today. 5 of 8 from the field for Nikki Gwynn. Here's a look for Paige. That's short. And Gwynn will push. Shaw stumbles. And Shaw in a bit of discomfort, but will slowly make her way back to her feet. Queens leads it by 9 over the Koalas of Columbia here in Queen City. You said before, they are from the NAIA level, and Josh, you've experienced this as a coach, coaching at different levels. There are funding differences, there are scholarship differences between D1 and NAIA.
Right, kids wake up and say, I want to play college basketball. And so at the NAIA level, talking to Coach Brown earlier, he said, a lot of NAIA schools similar to his, they may have 3 or 4 scholarships, athletic scholarships to try to field a complete team. And you see he's got 15, 20 players over there. That's not many scholarships to try to fill. Conversely, at the Division I level at Queens, they may have 13, 14, 15 full athletic scholarships. Again, a little bit different depending on each team, but when you see the Division I level, most of those young ladies are on full athletic scholarships, which obviously is a major discrepancy when you're trying to recruit different ladies. I know I used to coach Division I, Division II, and Division III, and I'll never forget, I was at Emory and Henry College, had a young lady out of Ashton, and I loved her, and I said, hey, we'd love for you to come to Emory and Henry. We're a D3 school. It's going to cost you $18,000 to come here. And she said, thanks, Coach. I just got a full ride from UNC Asheville. I'm going there. And I walked away and said, doggone it, I know talent, but we obviously had no chance to get her when she was getting a full scholarship from a Division I school and going to pay $20,000 at our school.
Right, certainly have some limitations and challenges as Gwynn travels. By the way, that last foul was on Lowe, which is her second. And the team's third of the quarter, but how do you work around some of those challenges? Because we've seen J.J. Green bring in some really talented young players.
Yeah, I think one of the big things is you've got to find homegrown talent. A lot of times you can get kids that want to stay close to home. That's a big draw. Hopefully you're able to recruit high-level academic students because at most colleges you can get a lot of merit money, academic money. And as a family, I don't care if we're receiving scholarships or grants for academics or athletics, as long as I'm paying less as a family, right? And so can we get homegrown kids, and you look at this roster, most of them are, can we get kids with high academics, and then can we sprinkle in some athletic money if we don't have as large a pot of finances as, say, a Division I school?
Caitlin Adams called for that last foul. That's her first, and the team's third here in the second. And all of that to say that what Columbia is doing right now is very impressive, staying within single digits. Here's Werbon, late to the shot clock. Brookhaver heaves out the buzzer. And it's a shot clock violation as it did not hit the rim.
So again, Columbia got late in the clock. I don't know that they recognized it. And I think this may have grazed the left corner of the rim. The referee on the other side thought differently, which is why I wanted to see it again. That's why he gets paid a lot to be the referee, because I was wrong and I'm sitting over here. But as you mentioned, John, it has to hit the rim or it's a violation.
Gwynn off of the triple from the corner. Just gonna stay here with Queens.
Columbia College, please stand in the right corner or Nikki Gwynn is going to score 30 if you keep letting her shoot open threes from the right corner. That's the end of my PSA.
Short and sweet PSA from Josh Springer. Quinn sitting on 12 points, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. Top shooter in the A-Sun. Here she is from the soft spot of that zone. Give her 14.
That's impressive. She heard what I said. She said, Coach, I'm versatile. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get in the mid-paint, and I'm still going for 30.
Underneath, it's Leah Page, the quick answer. Page, another one of those freshmen. 8 points, 5 rebounds. Last game against Bluefields as Weaver floats it in.
You can see the soft spot in that 3-2 zone is about 4 feet below the free throw line, or it's the corner three-pointer. And Queens is doing a great job of attacking that.
Take another look at this replay here. Let's see if the ball hit the rim.
Winner.
I think you might be right, Josh. That's very close.
Oh. I knew I wasn't totally crazy. I thought it was worth a second look at least.
Not that it really would have changed much. Queens had the rebound, but hey, it's good. Great job by our broadcast crew getting that replay as well. You can really see just how close that was. And also just how difficult of a job officials have to make calls like that.
I guess I'll cut them a little slack next time.
Oh, there's CeCe Wells from the corner pocket. This is down to an 8-point basketball game.
Columbia got a paint touch, forced Queens to converge, and that gave Wells the open look in the corner.
Final 2 minutes of the first half. Quinn off the skip pass. There she is.
John, there is nothing for me to say.
Another triple for Gwynn, that same spot. As she puts it in, give her 17 points. Queens back up by double figures. Feaster. And finish to stay with Columbia as Kennedy Fuller comes on.
Here's what I will say, John. A lot of people think, oh, just because she was open, it's automatic. And it is almost automatic for her. But I've coached a lot of players at a lot of levels that have been wide open that can't make open threes. And quite frankly, there's a lot of players on the court right now that can't make open threes. So credit to Nikki Gwynn for getting thousands of reps up in the gym when you and I aren't watching to make that look simple.
On the inside, tough bucket for Tamira Davis. Transfer from Spartanburg Methodist, where she actually played under J.J. Green, who was an assistant there for a season, and a travel will give it back to the visitors. That was another thing when we were talking to him about those two players, Shania Davis and Tamira Davis, both leaving Spartanburg Methodist to play for J.J. Green. That speaks volumes of the type of person, type of coach that he is.
It really does, and when you take over a program, you're trying to build culture. One of the ways you do that is by bringing two players that already know you, and so they can set the table for all of these incoming recruits. He said he had 17 new players over the last 2 years, but those two young ladies that were with him at Methodist, they've known him longer than that.
Adams, high archer from the corner, an air ball. Final 50 seconds. They can play the 2-for-1 game here if they go quick. On the inside, Davis, and a blocking foul.
You know what, right there, just a lack of communication by Queens, and we haven't seen that much today, but Columbia got out in transition again. The post player got to the rim, and just a hair late in sliding over, and we've got Davis going to the line for 2 shots, one of those Spartanburg Methodist transfers.
Tamira Davis can bring this down to a 7-point ball game. Remember, right around this juncture, last game for Queens against a very formidable D1 team in Presbyterian, the Royals led it by 22 points. Ended up leading by 19 at halftime. Different story today against the Koalas.
If I'm Jen Brown, I think I'm happy with our offense. Okay, we're going to score 40 in the half roughly. We're on pace for 80. But defensively, Columbia's running several acts. First off, they're getting out in transition. Columbia's got almost 10 points in transition, which should never happen against a Division I opponent. So if I'm Coach Brown, I'm upset about that. Secondly, again, some of the ball screen coverages, Queens' rotations have been too late.
Shaw, hop step inside, using the window.
She is electric. I mean, she has a serious bounce in her step and has ignited the offense for Queens multiple times.
6 points for Tamia Shaw in this first half. Somebody who only averages 2.6 points per game. now ties her season high. As Wells battles inside and plows through for an offensive.
Jordan Weaver does all the dirty work, and we said on the offensive end, she takes every shot off the backboard and treats it as hers. And right there, she said, "Coach, I'm unselfish. I'll take the hit." That's the second charge taken by Queens in the second half here. And I can't speak for Coach Brown, but for myself, there's no more stat that I enjoy seeing the numbers go up than charges taken.
That last foul against CC Wells, it's her third. See the numbers for Weaver, 8 and 3. And a whole lot of other things that maybe won't show up in the box score.
That third foul on Wells could be huge, John, heading into the second half.
Weaver can't corral it. Shaw heaves to the buzzer. Off the mark. And we will head to the halftime break.